one of the things that we also spoke about one time is being able to lay back by the pool,
Yes.
having my margarita, pina colada,
Absolutely.
and being control over my books. Can you explain how that works?
Well, absolutely. We use technology in order to give our clients access to the books that we are keeping and the source documents and their financial reporting on demand.
Great.
And so not only does this allow us to keep our prices down because we are servicing those books from our location, but also it gives the clients that on-demand access no matter where they are in the world, whether they are operating their business or relaxing on vacation. And it is a valuable resource because sometimes when you're on vacation, you're out at the golf course or you are by the pool and you're talking about your company because that's your baby. That's what you love. And maybe you do talk with a potential partner or investor or someone who can be a good member of your team and you'd like to share that information with them. Well, with our system, you're able to instantaneously send them the information that they need, thereby keeping the conversation going rather than having that lag where you finish out your vacation, you go back to the office, you try to prepare the reports, and a month later, maybe they're not so excited about investing anymore.
Yeah, the fire's
Absolutely.
gone.
I mean, it's that peace of mind, drinking the colada. It's peace of mind because you can access your information anywhere, as well as having that information accessible to any other partner that you need to share that with. So
Yes.
that's fantastic.
One of the other areas I think is extremely valuable is minimizing theft. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. First of all, one of the jobs of a controller is to create financial controls. So we're watching very carefully where the dollars are going once they come in through the door, and we're making sure that everything it stays real tight. We have some clients, for instance, that have operating assets such as a storage facility where they're an absent owner. They don't go out and operate that storage facility, but they have staff on site who do so. And so Complete Controller is a solution where we can go in and we train the staff. We teach them how to submit documentation to us. We teach them how to handle cash. We teach them how to do their drawer counts. You know, all of those day-by-day transactional types of things. And then based on the documentation we're receiving from the site, we're giving them constant direction. The owners may not really look at the performance of that business until they receive their financial reports at the end of the month. But they can rest assured that we're watching.
Ah, I love
great.
that. I love that, having a separate set of eyes. The other area, talking about separate eyes looking at the books, is that for business owners who are looking to raise money, we have a 15-point investment evaluator checklist. And one of the key, most important areas is, do you have third-party accounting? Another set of eyes looking at those books. And so for businesses who are looking to raise money, here it is. Here's my third party right here who's checking out my books. That's very powerful for those businesses who are looking to raise money.
Exactly. There are many advantages to this open book system and to having a controller on your team. First of all, you have accuracy in your books. So when you do look at your books,
Accuracy, what a
you
thought.
know, you can trust the numbers. You know, how and it just never fails to amaze me when my clients come to me, and first of all, they're usually low on cash because they haven't managed it properly, or they don't know what the strategies are, and then they usually have a pretty good idea of where their money's coming from, but they don't really know. And so there's nothing more fulfilling for me than to do my job and see that light bulb come on. You know,
Absolutely.
That's great. I love that.
And then with regard to the open book system, then the accessibility allows the CPA to access the books, investors, partners, a banker, an investment specialist such as yourself. So these people can all then become team members who can collaborate in an effort to help the business owner with their finances.
Lorraine, that's one of the areas that we thought is going to be very powerful for our clients, is having access to that information, even for our firm, is going to help us do our job better.
That's right.
Right, so that the clients don't have to go, oh gosh, I have to scan, email, fax, and where are those documents? How many times do we go through of, where are those documents, and going through those files, and I know for me, I've taken my bank statement, sent it off somewhere, and then forgot to put it back in the file. And now I have to call my bank, who's wonderful. Can you resend me those statements?
Right.
And so how much simpler is that? So it's time efficient.
It really is. And efficiency is actually a big thing with Complete Controller, because companies lose time and lose money every day because their processes aren't streamlined.
Absolutely.
So one of the first things we'll do with a client is we'll go in and we'll take a look at their processes for managing accounts receivable, collections, inventory control, accounts payable management, and we will help them to streamline those processes. Often we'll find redundancy, we'll find areas in which things are just piling up and not being handled in a timely manner. And what we teach them is, if you handle it immediately in as much as possible, then you'll increase your efficiency. And if you increase your efficiency, then your cash flow becomes more predictable. And if your cash flow is predictable, then you can operate a company and you can actually begin to forecast into the next period how you will manage that cash as it flows.
Oh, that is just so powerful. Talking about cash flow, there are people who aren't using a controller. And I hear this quite often where it's like, okay, I have a net profit, but I don't have any money in the bank. What happened?
Oh, I hear that all the time. Jennifer, I'm making money, but where is it?
Where is it?
And we educate our clients. And that's why it's important to have a controller on your team, because we can show them that balance sheet. And we can show them where they're paying down debt or where they're taking on debt and what is really happening. There are companies that have money in the bank and they're so excited and they spend it and they don't realize that they took on debt to get that money and that has to be repaid. Or maybe they realize it, but they're not putting two and two together, and they're not seeing how that P&L statement and that balance sheet work together. And so we'll educate them on that. We also help them to prepare budgets. It is imperative for a company to have a budget. Absolutely. How do you know if you don't have a budget whether you've gone over or come in under your projections? So a budget is part of our basic service. We want our business owners watching that money.
And we call it a spending control tool or spending controls, because what happens is that in our experience, when we talk to people about budget, they just go, oh gosh, I don't want to be controlled by a budget. So even though it is a budget, it is a decision. It is deciding here that I am going to make a decision to allocate the money this way, and if I don't, here are the consequences.
That's right. It's very important to go into all aspects of business with a strategy, with a business plan. And your financial plan should not be an area in which you're lacking that strategy. So when you budget it out and then you see where you've gone over or come under, then going into the next period, you're able to strategize. Well, how did I perform with moving that more money into marketing and putting less money into legal or less money into staffing? And you can look at the immediate response that your company has in the following period to how you budgeted the period before. And when you're looking at these things with that analytical eye, now you're actually operating a company.
If you could just give us a quick story of an example that here is a person before they worked with you, the scenario, and then here's the change that they had in the transformation in working with you.
Well, without revealing who
Yes.
my actual clients are, let's see. Gosh, I mean, there are so many different stories
Yes.
to tell.
Just the result.
We do, one of the areas in which we really impact the clients is in the industry of service and construction. Those clients typically have some kind of trade that they perform, maybe plumbing or HVAC or whatever it may be. And so they're out there doing that, and they're good at that. But when it comes to the paperwork, they're not so good.
I could think a lot of companies who are like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the great thing about Complete Controller is we serve so many different industries and so many companies within those industries that we have the opportunity to learn what the best practices are. So we really stay on the cutting edge. So we've had clients coming to us that are still handwriting their invoices, that are still doing their billing a week or a month after they've completed the job, and they wonder why their cash flow is tight or they're not getting paid. And we've been able to come in and teach them that, you know, if you're in the construction service industry and you buy an iPad and you put an invoicing program on that, you can create an estimate, get a signature, perform your service, receive payment before your truck even leaves the site.
Oh gosh!
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
fantastic.
huge! I love it.
Yeah.
So you actually teach them how to do that.
Absolutely.
Oh.
We
Business
also teach them how to manage the time that is
I
coming
love
in,
it.
properly filter it, authorize it, pay for it, and job cost it.
And you know what? Right now, with gas prices the way they are, in fact, I was just speaking with a owner who owned a plumbing company, and he said, gas is so expensive, I have to be careful about going out and giving bids.
True.
I have to get information prior to know if I'm just going to go out there, give a bid, and have a dead end, because it's costing me so much money now.
It really does. And there are ways to manage that as well. We have companies that rely very heavily on gas, and they have actually large limits on their gas cards, but we're having to pay them down twice or three times a month in order to keep that available for them to use. But the great thing about having us on their team is they're not waiting for their bookkeeper to come in once a week to pay that down or having to call in the payments themselves. We're always watching. And when it hits a certain predetermined limit, we make sure that gets paid down because we know they need the cushion.